Hello, and thank you for joining us. Today we are going to go over how to create a new customer on BoldNet using the Customer Wizard. So when we log in, we get our dashboard here, and we want to do a new customer, so we're going to go over to the Customer Wizard. Now we're going to be prompted to put it says contact ID. This is also going to be the account number. So in our case today, we're going to do 010804 as my next available. We'll click next. It is going to bring up the Customer Wizard for us to go ahead and start putting the information into the account. So the first thing we're going to see when we come up here is where we can decide if this is going to be a residential or a commercial account. This one's going to be residential. So we're going to then go start putting the information for the customer in the account. So we will start with the name. We will put the zip code in, the city, so Hagerstown. Now we need to select the state, and for us it is in Maryland. So now we get down to this part, and now we're going to start putting in the address. So that's the pertinent information for this section. So we're going to click next here. And now for the site, it's going to have us put in the phone number for the site. So when it says contact points, these are going to be all the phone numbers that we want before dispatch. So this is going to be basically the home phone number, or if it was a business, the business's primary number, or if somebody wants it to be their cell phone that they want us to call first, those would be the numbers that we would put here. So I'm going to just go ahead and put mine in. Okay. And that's the only number I want to get called before dispatch. If I wanted any more numbers, I would just click add, and I'll continue adding them. And you can also choose what you want them to be labeled as: the business, mobile, home, site. You can label them however you would like. If they have an email address, we can add that here, and a web address is available if we need to use that. For example, we can use that for our iHelps or anything with the GPS. So that's it for here. We're going to go to next, and we have some information here as well. We can group accounts together, but for normal accounts, that's not something that we do. Everything here is preloaded for us, so we will now need to put the customer's password in down here, and for me it is going to be blue. If you would like to make a duress password, you can do that as well by clicking this box, and then that will make it a duress password, meaning if we get that from the customer, we will dispatch the police immediately. But today we're just going to put a normal password in, which is going to be blue. So now we're down to the systems. This is where we're going to start putting the panel information in. We're going to click add. And once this pops up, now we can start putting the system information in. It defaults to event monitoring because that's what we're doing here. We're putting in a burglary panel or fire panel, whatever it is. It's for event monitoring. We want signals going to the central station. So we put a description of the system in here. It could be alarm.com. Maybe it's an alarm.com unit. We can put a panel type in here. If we need to do that, you can choose in here from a host of different panels. We can add the panels that you normally use for your dealer profile. And there's a bunch of panels that you can select from. So after that, we're going to click next. It's going to take us to the next part where we're going to add the transmitter's information. So we want to add a transmitter since we don't have any so far. We're going to click the add button. In description, I'm going to say alarm.com again, so we know that that is what it is. It is an alarm.com. The transmitter type, I'm going to find residential. You can also choose commercial. The receiver line prefix, we need to select that as well. You will be given a list of your receiver line prefixes, those will be the ones that will pop up for you on your profile. In my case, I'm going to do the Dynamark House. And the transmitter ID, that is going to be the last 4 digits of the account number. So in our case, it was 0804. Okay, so what that is basically the panel number. You program that into the panel. It sends a signal from 804. When our receiver gets it, it knows that it belongs to this account. After we do that, we click Done. That is going to be our transmitter. Now we're going to move on to areas and zones. Areas is also known as partitions. If you have more than one area, you can add area 1, area 2 there, but in this case, we don't have more than the one area, so we don't have to add one. What we do want to do is we want to add the zones. So we'll start on that. Click Add, and Zone 1 is a front door. Okay, now I'll go off to Zone 2 is the back door. And this system is going to have 4 zones, so we'll go ahead and continue. So this one's going to be Zone 3, and it is kitchen smoke. And then one more zone will be Zone 4. This will be basement door. Okay, so we can continue adding zones if we have more. It's that simple, but in this case, we're only going to add the 4. We click Next. We see here, okay, no special processing for this account. So we zoom right through that. Now we can go to the contacts. So the first thing we're going to want to really look for is the police. And it's very simple to do that here. We click the magnifying glass. And I like to search by name. It makes it easy. So in our case, it's going to be Washington County. So we just type in the authority that we're looking for. Click Search, and now we're given a list of the Washington County authorities. So in this case, this is the one I'm going to need, the Washington County, Maryland Emergency Communications, and I do the same thing for fire and medical as well. So I'll go into here, and I'll click on authority name, and then I will type Washington County again, search, and Washington County Emergency Communications, and we put them in. I don't have a medical button, so I'm not going to put medical in, but if I was going to do that, it would be the same thing. Just search for Washington County. Now contacts here are going to be the people we'd like to contact after police dispatch to let them know that there has been an alarm. This can be family members or whoever wants to be notified for an alarm. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make them a contact, and we type in their name and that person's phone number. And if we have more, we can just continue adding. We want to make sure we label them as a contact. And we also have a function here that if you would like any of these people to be notified before police dispatch. So what this means is I'm going to call the site phone number that we put in a little while ago, and then an ECV type or enhanced call verification. I can make that a contact as well in here, ECV type, and anybody labeled an ECV type will be pulled to be called before police dispatch. So let's say I want my cell phone called. And I want that to be called before police dispatch. So this system will pull anything labeled ECV type and have me be called in this circumstances in the form of a burglary alarm or anything like that. They'll notify me. Now after we've added the contact list, we're pretty much done. Call list is something that we can make for the contact list. A call list is only ever going to be a function of the contact list and who we've put in. So most of the time the contact list on the account is going to be the one we're going to use. So the one we just entered, we're going to call in that order, ECV types, and then people labeled as contacts. We're going to call them in that order. So there's really no need for a call list here. What we could use a call list for is if I was going to have a fire system with multiple floors in a building, and I wanted a floor 1 call list and a floor 2 call list. We can do that from all the contacts we can put in. We can put all the ones from floor 1 into one, and then floor 2 into another. And we're going to do a video on call list management in the future. So after that, we click Finish. And it takes us to the account. And now all of the information is in, and the account has been created. To make this account active, you can do one of 2 things. It goes in as a pending status. You can send a signal and it will automatically activate the account, or you can email into dealer services to activate the account for you. But this account will, in the pending status, go active when it receives its first signal. So thank you so much for tuning in on how to make a customer with the Customer Wizard today. We will be doing another video on how to do that from test accounts as well. So please stay tuned for that, and thank you again.